Today, we honor our common ancestor, John Grant, and his ancestors.
John Grant was born 28 October 1834 at Claybrook, Leicestershire, England. Claybrook is 3.5 miles northwest of Lutterworth, with a land area of 1,090 acres and a population of 330. It is in the Archdeaconry of Leicester and Diocese of Lincoln. The parish registers of Claybrook begin in 1705. He was christened 22 February 1835 at the Congregational Church of Eulesthorpe. Eulesthorpe is a hamlet parish 3.5 miles northwest of Lutterworth and 12.5 miles southwest of the city of Leicester, with 1,485 acres and a population of 402.
John Grant married Hannah Eames, 17 May 1839, at the parish church at St. John's North Church, Herefordshire. North Church is 1.5 miles northwest of Berkhamsted, with a land area of 3,798 acres and the population of 1,378. Hannah Eames was born 25 July 1839 at Wigginton, Herefordshire. Wigginton is a parish and village 1.5 miles southeast of Tring, with a land area of 1,675 acres and a population of 215.
John and Hannah were the parents of one child, Sarah Grant, born 8 April 1863 at Railway Terrace in the parish of Abbots Langley, Hertfordshire. Abbots Langley is 3.5 miles north of Watford, with a land area of 5,281 acres and a population of 4,245. Hannah Eames died 3 April 1864, aged 24, at Bourne End, North Church, and John Grant married her sister Emma Eames 13 November 1864 at St. Peter, Coventry, Warwickshire. They had 6 children. John joined the church 8 March 1865, and Emma was baptized 25 July 1867. John Grant, with his wife Emma and daughter Sarah, left England to come to America 4 June 1873 and arrived in Salt Lake City, Utah 9 July 1873. It took them 12 days on the water and 9 days by train to make the trip. They laid over 1 day in Ogden while a bridge was being repaired. The film 175733 shows that the SS Nevada left Liverpool, England, and arrived at the port of New York 16 June 1873, ship number 581. Master of the ship, William Forsyth, signed the passenger list showing 683 on board the 2,020-ton ship. The British Emigration Records, film 025692, shows they left 4 June 1873, having paid a cash deposit of £19 and 4 shillings. London Conference, £1 and 16 shillings, for a total of £21. They came over on the ship Nevada with a party of 200 saints. John Grant died 26 November 1904, age 70, at Granger, Salt Lake County, Utah, and was buried 29 November in the Salt Lake City Cemetery.
John Grant was the son of Thomas Grant and Lydia Wood. Thomas Grant was born 4 August 1797 at Paleton, Monks Kirby, Warwickshire. Paleton is a village 5 miles northwest of Rugby with a land area of 1,756 acres and the population of 450. Thomas Grant was christened 24 September 1797 in the parish of Monks Kirby. Monks Kirby is 6 miles northwest of Rugby, with the land area of 4,563 acres and a population of 559.
Thomas Grant married Lydia Wood 16 April 1832 at Claybrook, Leicestershire. Lydia Wood was born 2 August 1802 at Gilmorton, Leicestershire, and christened 22 August 1802 in the parish church at Gilmorton. Her parents were Thomas and Hannah Wood. Gilmorton is 3 miles northeast of Lutterworth with a land area of 2,471 acres and a population of 467. They were the parents of 7 children. Thomas Grant died 3 July 1853, age 55, at Claybrook, and was buried there 5 July 1853. His first wife was Matilda Grocock. They were married 22 February 1820 and had 4 children. The will of Thomas Grant, dated 13 June 1853, was probated 23 May 1854 in the Archdeaconry Court of Leicester. Film 26421, Part 105, Volume 59-60, page 232, reads as follows. This is the last will and testament of me, Thomas Grant of Great Claybrook in the county of Leicester. First, I direct all my just debts, funeral and testamentary expenses to be paid out of my real and personal estate as soon as may be after my decease. I give all my real and personal estate whatsoever and wherever unto my dear wife Lydia Grant, for the bringing up of my children, Anne Grant, Job Grant, and Samuel Grant. And I hereby appoint my wife sole executrix of this my will. Signed, Thomas Grant, ex his mark, witnesses Thomas Nixon and John Brown.
Thomas Grant was the son of John Grant and Elizabeth Bird. John Grant was born at Paleton and was christened 29 May 1757 in the parish church at Monks Kirby, Warwickshire. John Grant married Elizabeth Bird 23 September 1787 at Willey, Warwickshire. She bore him 5 children. Elizabeth Bird was the daughter of Francis and Mary Bird and was christened 18 January 1757 at Willey.
Willey is 3 miles west of Lutterworth with a population of 98 and a land area of 815 acres. John Grant died 13 June 1841, age 84, at Claybrook Magna, Leicestershire, and was buried 15 June at the parish church cemetery at Claybrook Parva. The The will of John Grant, dated 22 September 1836, was proved 4 May 1842, reads as follows. I, John Grant, the elder of Great Claybrook in the county of Leicester, butcher, being of sound and disposing mind, memory, and understanding, do on this 22nd day of September in the year of our Lord 1836 make this my last will and testament in manner following. I give, devise, and bequeath to my son Thomas Grant by my wife Elizabeth all these my 2 massages, tenements, gardens, hereditaments, and premises, with their and every of their appurtenances, whereof I am seized in fee situate and lying in the township of Great Claybrook, parish of Claybrook, in the county of Leicester, one of which is now in the occupation of my said son Thomas Grant, and the other in the occupation of George Bassett, to have and to hold. Thomas Grant his heirs and assigns forever. I give and bequeath to my daughter Mary Grant by my said wife Elizabeth the legacy or sum of £20. I also give and bequeath to my said son Thomas Grant all my personal property, and I desire that my said son will pay my funeral charges and any just and lawful debts that I may be owing at the time of my decease. And I do hereby constitute and appoint him, my said son Thomas Grant, my sole executor of this my last will and testament. Signed, John Grant. Witnesses, William Stevenson, William Harding, and Elizabeth Stevenson of Claybrook.
John Grant was the son of Job Grant and Elizabeth Hall. Job Grant was christened 29 December 1729 at Long Itchington, Warwickshire, England. Long Itchington is 2 miles northwest of Southampton, with a population of 911 and a land area of 4,869 acres. Job Grant married Elizabeth Hall by banns 15 April 1754 at Monk's Kirby, Warwickshire. She bore him 7 children. Elizabeth Hall was christened 22 September 1734 at Monk's Kirby, daughter of John Hall and Diana Roberts. Job Grant died at Pailton and was buried 11 October 1808, aged 78 at Monk's Kirby, Warwickshire. Job Grant was the son of Job Grant and Anne Tidmarsh.
Job Grant was christened 6 January 1698 Julian calendar, 1699 Gregorian calendar, at Wolfhampcote, Warwickshire, England. Wolfhampcote is 3.5 miles northwest of Daventry, with a population of 233 and a land area of 3,855 acres. Job Grant and Anne Tidmarsh were married 24 June 1722 at Marton, Warwickshire. She bore him 5 children. Job Grant is the son of John and Anne Grant. John Grant was christened 2 June 1670 at Wolfhampcote, Warwickshire. They were married about 1693, and she bore him 2 children. John Grant was buried 16 August 1740, aged 70, at Wolfhampcote, Warwickshire. John Grant was the son of William and Elizabeth Grant. William Grant was christened 11 January 1636 Julian calendar, 1637 Gregorian calendar, at Wolfhampcote, Warwickshire. He married about 1659, and Elizabeth bore him 8 children. William Grant was buried 17 July 1700, age 63, at Wolfhampcote, Warwickshire. His will was dated 2 July 1700 and proved 24 October 1700. He names children Thomas, William, Robert, John, Job, Mary Cleaver, youngest daughter Catherine Grant. Many grandchildren are listed.
William Grant was the son of Thomas Grant and his second wife, Anna. Thomas Grant was christened 30 March 1600 at Wolfhampcote, Warwickshire. Thomas Grant and Anna were married about 1631. Anna bore him 5 children. Thomas Grant was buried 13 August 1667, age 67, at Wolfhampcote, Warwickshire.
Thomas Grant is the son of Richard Grant. The parish registers do not give the name of the mother. Richard Grant was born about 1568. The Wolfhampcote parish registers began in 1558, but we have not found his christening entry or for any other children than Thomas, nor the name of his first wife. This is the end of our Grant ancestry.
John Grant and his first wife, Hannah Eames, were the parents of one child, Sarah Grant, who was born 8 April 1863 at Railway Terrace, which is a hamlet in the parish of Abbots Langley, Hertfordshire, England. Sarah Grant was married 4 March 1885 in the Logan Temple to Niels Peter Peterson. She bore him 13 children. Niels Peter Peterson died 8 June 1931, age 71, at Granger, Salt Lake County, and was buried 14 June in the Taylorsville Cemetery. Sarah Grant died 3 December 1940, age 77, at Granger, Salt Lake County, and was buried 8 December in the Taylorsville Cemetery. After the death of his first wife, John Grant married her sister, Emma Eames, 13 November 1864, at the parish church of St. Peter, Coventry, Warwickshire, England. Emma bore him 6 children as follows.
John William Grant was born 23 November 1866 at Hemel Hempstead, Hertfordshire, England, and died 18 March 1868, age 1. George Eames Grant was born 17 October 1874 at Salt Lake City and was married 7 June 1899 in the Salt Lake Temple to Elizabeth Rachel Tanner. She bore him 7 children. Elizabeth Rachel Tanner died 5 June 1957, age 79, at Granger, Salt Lake County, and was buried 7 June in the Wasatch Lawn Cemetery in Salt Lake City. George Eames Grant died 10 June 1930, age 55, at Granger, and was buried 13 June in the Wasatch Lawn Cemetery. Alfred Job Grant was born 17 March 1876 at Salt Lake City and was married 24 October 1900 in the Salt Lake Temple to Evelyn Barton. She bore him 7 children. Evelyn died 23 May 1957, age 80, at Woods Cross, Davis County, Utah, and was buried 25 May in the Taylorsville Cemetery. Alfred Job Grant died 20 March 1919, age 43, at Granger, and was buried 22 March in the Taylorsville Cemetery. William Albert Grant was born 5 March 1878 at Salt Lake City and was married 11 October 1899 in the Salt Lake Temple to Susan Emma Smith. She bore him 7 children. Susan Emma Smith died 19 November 1955, age 75, at Granger, and was buried 22 November in the Taylorsville Cemetery. William Albert Grant died 22 July 1937, age 59, at Granger, and was buried 25 July in the Taylorsville Cemetery. Calvin Eugene Grant was born 27 July 1880 at Salt Lake City and died 28 October 1880, aged 3 months, and was buried in the Salt Lake City Cemetery.
Alice Mary Grant was born 2 October 1881 at Sugar House, Salt Lake County, and was married 31 October 1900 in the Salt Lake Temple to John Howard Woodbury. She bore him 3 children. John Howard Woodbury died 2 May 1909, aged 37 at Salt Lake City, and was buried 6 May in the Taylorsville Cemetery. Alice Mary Grant died 30 August 1950, age 68 at Granger, and was buried 2 September in the Taylorsville Cemetery.
Total known posterity of John Grant, born 1834, died 1904, as of 1992. 7 children, 38 grandchildren, 111 great-grandchildren, 271 second-great-grandchildren, 123 third-great-grandchildren, for a total posterity of 550. There were 207 total spouses of children, grandchildren, etc., making 757 total posterity, including spouses.
As descendants of these fine and faithful people, let us remember their strong, wonderful qualities and try to live our lives to make them proud of us.